Good morning, it's Aline. I woke up to rain this morning, but I thought it would be a good time to go ahead and do my updates. This is the deck garden. Um, I added a new plant this week. It's just an ornamental. It's called a popcorn plant. It's does not make popcorn, but the leaves smell like buttered popcorn if you rub them, and it'll have little yellow flowers that are sort of reminiscent of popcorn at some point. I also added a solar powered bug light. It comes on. Don't know if it kills the bugs at night, but it's pretty, so I like it. We've had a lot of rain this week. Everything seems to be um, improving. The Angelonia is the white. This is a licorice plant. Um, the little one is a Calabrachoa, and that one is a verbena. And this one, the solid colors are Calabrachoa, and the sort of purple and white is also an Angelonia. I've moved things around inside the garden because I realized it was getting too much shade on some things. So here's one of the tomato plants. This is the one that was just a top that I planted. It's now as tall as the other one, if not slightly taller. Lots of blooms and some baby tomatoes, which is always fun. Can't wait. This is the purple queen beans, and I will be harvesting a little later this morning. As you can see the beans. They're already sticking out. This is the poblano. It's finally starting to get some baby peppers, which is nice. And they've grown. I mean, you can see how much everything has grown this week. We had a storm that came through, pretty heavy windstorm, and all of the peppers got knocked over anyway. And so they've all now been staked. Here's the both of the ginger scented geraniums are over here now. The one that's from Cuttings looks fabulous, and the original also looks pretty good. The strawberries going a little wild. There's still some green ones, as you can see, and hopefully they'll ripen. The last set didn't. They just sort of rotted. We'll see what happens. The onions are continue to do what onions do. This basil needs to be topped out. It's a little licorice-y in flavor. It was interesting. I tried it with some squash the other day. It was, I think it's an acquired taste, but it's pretty. The peppers are starting to put on fruit, so that's good. My dahlia has just taken off. It deadheading works, so it looks beautiful with the caladium. So the squashes that are in the thing are growing. That's good. I decided that on this row I would alternate beets and cabbage. So they just popped right out of the ground. So those are beets, these are cabbage. I cut back my lettuce pretty hard, thinking it would just die back and I'd pull it, but it's actually doing the cut and come again thing. So I think I've got at least one more harvest on the romaine. The Salanova, probably could harvest it again. Discovered Tierney doesn't like it. She likes really crunchy lettuce, so we'll mostly be growing romaine from now on. This variegated nasturtium looks so cute. I'm really happy with how pretty they are. They're also don't really like the heat, so we'll see what happens with that. This is a pot of leeks. They will eventually go in the ground, but I started them from seeds, and I moved them from start pack into a pot so they'd get bigger, and they have. And eventually they're going to go in the ground in one of the raised beds. So this is the other tomato, and that windstorm really knocked it. I mean, it practically broke it. And I don't know if I can get... I used masking tape to put it back together. It's something I learned on YouTube. And it seems to be doing fine. I mean, it's blooming. The top looks good. We'll see what happens. I might have to change the tape, but we'll see. And the tomatillo is exploding. It's probably doubled in size since the last video, and there are a couple dozen of the tomatillo husks. It looks spectacular. I'm really pleased with it. Can't wait to start harvesting that. And of course the jalapenos are still producing, not yet ripe. The two other dahlias that were in the gray pots, I discovered that if I put the plant stands on the railing, they would fit exactly in it, and I really like how that looks on my railing. So this is the pink and yellow one, and then this is the orange and yellow one. There's a lot of humidity this morning, so this camera might be, the lens might be a little blurry. This is a second dahlia. It was a start Stephanie Hughes gave me. It hasn't bloomed yet. Don't know what it's going to look like. I needed to plant it somewhere, and that seemed like a good place. All right, so that's the inside of the garden. You might have noticed that there was only one green stalk. I moved this one out because this is what was causing the most trouble with the shade. So it's out here. Jester doesn't seem to be able to dig it because the pockets are so small. I mean, she might chew on the leaves, but these beans, these amethyst beans, are doing really well. They're just growing like weeds. The kale has way more than doubled since last time you saw it, and the carrots are still doing quite well. The herb layer is huge. I tried to separate the curly parsley and probably made a mistake. The other half died where I planted it, but it's so good for butterflies. I wanted to spread it around. So this morning there's a farmer's market in town, which is where I bought that to start with, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can buy some more. All right, so the lettuce is still alive. The big green pot is now in my brand new garden window. I'm trying to see if it's going to grow well inside, because it needs cooler, and I don't know if it's going to get enough sun though. So it's an experiment. It started to rain again, so I'm going to end this, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.